We've got the management of EdServe who is joining in. Mr. S. Giridharan, who is the chairman and CEO, joins us to talk about their new initiative for launching a training institute. Let's find out how much they are planning to spend and what they are planning to, and the kind of returns they are expecting from the same. Mr. Giridharan, thanks for joining in on the show. To start off with, for this new training center, you plan to invest close to 40 crore rupees. How do you plan to fund this capex?
Basically, as EdServe, we've been very strong in the test prep segment through online services as well as in-campus school management services. Now we have launched the brick and mortar training services. Traditionally, it's been really largely accepted, business model in the country. Except that, apart from IT services, IT training services, we would also get on with the academic support services, supplementary education services in brick and mortar. Involving experienced tutors as well as remote tutoring services. This means that we would be spreading through franchisee-driven model, where we're signing up 250 to 300 centers. In fact, we've been getting a very good response from our own current network, who are all dealer distributors of our online Limescale model. We're all going to convert this to brick and mortar training center model. So in terms of investments, yes, internal accruals as well as our own treaty spaces that we have, as well as advertisements concerned. So branding would be the major expenses that we would be getting along, as well as infrastructure additions for improved servers, as well as supplying to the franchisees tablets for every student that we have announced free, as well as server systems, wherein we're also tying up with lease model with big investment companies as well as funding agencies, who would be supplying on a lease contract basis the equipments which we would be supplying and getting that payment upfront. So that's how we plan to get that thing funded.
Sure, right. And Mr. Giridharan, you already have an active presence in the online space. So what was really the thinking or the objective behind opening brick and mortar training institutes?
See, brick and mortar basically helps, we believe very strongly, the students who are in the tier 2, tier 3 cities, towns and villages, who also aspire to come very big in terms of test preparations. The entrance exam, as it is as a market, close to about 50 lakh students in various capacities, as 12th standard students, 11th standard students, as well as UG graduate to be students been appearing. And they've been on to those certifications to get on with better careers with higher aspiration levels. Except that these examination study centers as well as the preparation levels are not enough for them because of considering the fact that they are in places where internet access has been poor, as well as quality institutes have been not there. So brick and mortar coupled with our online services, wherein we plan to move our e-contents into the tablets, locally stored but then securely accessed. By that way, we plan to reach out more students in the towns and villages. If you appreciate this, engineering colleges have been there anywhere in those, tier 2, tier 3, except that the students are not able to access technology-led, those cutting-edge technology services. Because of that, we thought it would be viable to get on with the brick and mortar, by which we would club our own online edu contents into those tablets, by which we would be able to reach to greater level of students, greater number of students.
Mr. Giridharan, you're adopting the franchisee route for this model. So what kind of returns are you expecting, as well as what kind of a margin picture can we expect from the company on the same?
In terms of the franchisee driven, if you look at operational costs are very minimal for us. We have always been taking this way through including our online services, wherein dealer distributors have been taking up stocks and then selling it to the students. So franchisee driven model always have been helping us in the margins. Except that in the first year, we want to go very low on the royalty to invite more and more franchisees to form part of this network. Traditionally, if you look at last 2-3 decades as IT training services, franchise models based brick and mortar training centers have been really good, except that this kind of service has not been present for academic support, right, from 6th standard to 12th standard for examination support. So we expect lots of students, getting into those brick and mortar, because seeing is believing. So for them, getting into training institutes, getting educated that way, in their off school hours or college hours. So even the tutors and teachers and professors can extend their support by way of part-time training services, by which all our centers are planning to open up training sessions only after 4 or 5 p.m. So it's going to be very rewarding. In fact, we are very bullish on this particular model in the next 1.5 years, where we would be spending almost about the 300 to 400 centers. So we actually have been officially targeting about 200, but we can even exceed that.
All right, and Mr. Giridharan, just one last quick question. Between online and the brick and mortar business, what's the mix of revenues you are looking at? And if you could give us a sense of what the margins for both these lines are going to look like. Where are the margins going to be higher?
Obviously, the margins are going to be higher on the online, except that, brick and mortar, as we move up in terms of number of centers, we would start seeing higher margins, because more and more students are getting from us tablets where we would have a margin directly, as well as on the royalties, as well as on the sign-up fees, where it's going to be year-on-year renewal. It's a non-refundable fee. So these are the things will come up very well on the margins once we go on more and more centers. But then online services, we plan to also expose that too well into the training centers, wherein franchisee would be given credits to also sell those online access to the students who have subscribed to the brick and mortar, post the training sessions, let's say 3 months or 6 months, they can continue to access online. That way, students, having seen those contents inside the training centers, they could continue to access those things at their own home, anywhere, anytime. So online would jumpstart, even could double our own current revenues that we are going through online. So online would definitely get a better margins. But then coupled with brick and mortar over a period, we would see test preps as a market and KG2PG services as a market. We would both look at online and offline, which is a brick and mortar, to basically apply some synergy on it, by which this would be probably our principally rewarding business stream.